He's not a nobody, he's my papa. Single dad saves collapsing female CEO, changes both lives. The rain had just stopped when Arham stepped off the bus, shaking water from his old janitor's jacket. He checked his watch. Another night shift at the giant glass tower of Saffron Enterprises, one of the biggest companies in the city. He wasn't supposed to be tired, but he was. Between raising his 8-year-old daughter, Mehek, and working double shifts to pay her school fees, exhaustion had become a second skin. Still, he smiled. Because at home, someone was waiting for him. Papa, Aaj jaldi aana, please, she had said that morning while tying her shoelaces. Main koshish karan ga, he had replied, brushing a kiss to her forehead. Lekan agar late ho gaya to meri gutty gusana hi hogi. She had giggled and hugged him tight. Never, Papa. That small hug carried him through his day. Inside the building, everything gleamed: marble floors, golden elevators, fresh flowers in every hallway. Arham kept them spotless. He never complained, even when some executives looked right past him like he was invisible. It was okay. He wasn't here for anyone's attention. He was here to build a life for his daughter. But tonight, something felt different. The top floor was unusually silent. These were the executive offices, off limits to most staff except Arham, who cleaned them after hours. As the elevator doors opened, he stepped out and immediately sensed something wrong. The air smelled faintly of burnt stress: too much coffee, too little sleep, too many decisions made past midnight. And then he heard it. A soft, painful gasp from inside the corner office. He hurried toward the sound. Inside sat a woman at a massive desk covered in documents, half-empty water bottles, and untouched food. She looked like a sculpture carved from exhaustion: sharp suit, perfect hair, but trembling hands. Her skin was pale, lips cracked. She pressed a hand to her chest as if trying to hold herself together. Arham froze. It was her. Ayla Khan, CEO of Saffron Enterprises. The woman who commanded entire boardrooms, the one people whispered about in the hallways. Powerful. Fearless. Untouchable. But tonight, she wasn't any of those things. She swayed. And collapsed. Arham dropped his mop and rushed to her side. Ma'am, can you hear me? Her breaths were shallow, uneven. She looked like someone who had pushed herself far beyond the limit. Without thinking twice, he gently lifted her, supporting her head. Bas, ma'am, relax. I'm here. Her eyelids fluttered. What? Who are? Arham. Janitor. He swallowed. But that's not important right now. You need help. No hospital, she whispered hoarsely. Board meeting, early morning. I must finish. Ma'am, agar aapne ubi aram nahikia, to subakakoi meeting nahihaga, he said softly. And then she went completely limp. Arham quickly grabbed his phone, called the emergency support line, and followed instructions. He loosened her collar, checked her pulse, helped regulate her breathing. He stayed right beside her until paramedics arrived. When they carried her out on a stretcher, one paramedic asked, "You saved her life, sir." A few more minutes and she would be gone into cardiac distress. Arham just nodded. He didn't feel heroic. He felt scared for her. The next morning, he tried to work as usual, but people kept talking. CEO collapsed. How? Someone said a janitor saved her. No way. Arham ignored them and focused on his work. He didn't want recognition. He needed his job. That was enough. But by afternoon, a security guard approached him. "Sir, the CEO wants to see you." Arham's heart dropped. Did she think he overstepped? Would he be fired? He couldn't afford to lose this job. He quietly followed the guard to her private recovery office. Isla was sitting on a couch, and four still in her arm, a doctor nearby. But her eyes softened when she saw him. "You're the man who helped me," she said quietly. Arham lowered his gaze. "Gee, ma'am. I just did what anyone—" "No," she interrupted, firm but gentle. "Not anyone. Many people walk past me every day." "You didn't?" He didn't know how to answer. "Sit," she said. "No, ma'am, I shouldn't." "That's an order, not a request." He sat cautiously on the very edge of the sofa. Isla studied him like she was seeing him for the first time. "What's your name again?" "Arham." "Do you have family?" "My daughter." "Mehek." "What about her mother?" He hesitated. The old ache returned. "She passed away 4 years ago." Isla's expression softened. "I'm sorry." He nodded, swallowing the nerves buzzing through him. Then she surprised him. "Arham. I owe you my life. If you hadn't been there—" "Ma'am, please. I didn't do it for anything in return." "But I want to do something," she insisted. "You don't need to. You saved the CEO of this company. And you're also a human being," he said gently. Isla blinked. People didn't talk to her like that. They treated her like a title, not a person. She dismissed her doctor and security, signaling them to leave. Once the room was quiet, she asked, "How do you manage everything, working nights, raising a child alone?" Arham smiled faintly. "Bas, din ko thoda himmat, rate ko thoda dua." Isla almost laughed. A small smile slipped out despite herself. She talked to him longer than she intended. Something about his calm voice, his honesty, it was grounding. She had spent years surrounded by people who only spoke to impress or manipulate. But Arham, he spoke like a man who had nothing except dignity. Before he left, she said softly, "Thank you, for saving me." "Kush raho, ma'am," he replied, then quietly slipped out. The next week passed quietly, but something had changed. Isla began noticing him. When she arrived early, she'd see him sweeping the lobby. When she stayed late, he'd be polishing floors. He moved with patience, with intention. He didn't chase recognition. He didn't complain. He didn't pretend. And every day, her curiosity grew. One day, she asked HR for his file. When she read it, her heart tightened. Excellent employee. Never late. Refuses extra pay. Single parent. High school dropout due to family tragedy. No complaints. Staff often mention he is kind and respectful. She stared at the file for a long moment, then closed it gently. He wasn't a nobody. He was a man holding the world together with his bare hands. And she found herself wanting to know him. A week later, she saw him outside the building after her shift. He was crouched beside a little girl with curly hair. Mehek. He was fixing her schoolbag strap, tucking her hair behind her ear as she rambled excitedly about her day. Isla stood still for a moment, watching the tenderness in his eyes. Then Mehek noticed her. "Papa, who is she?" Isla stepped forward. I'm someone your papa helped. Mehek's eyes widened. Papa helps everyone. Mehek. Arham said softly, embarrassed. But the girl wasn't done. He's not a nobody, she said proudly, holding her father's hand. He's my papa. Isla felt something warm break inside her chest. Something she hadn't felt in years. Respect. Admiration. And something she wasn't ready to name yet. She knelt down so she was eye level with Mehek. Your papa saved my life. Mehek's smile spread slowly, like dawn. I know. Papa is the strongest. Isla looked up at Arham. He looked away, flustered. But she saw it, his humility wasn't an act. It was who he was. Would you both? She hesitated, uncertain for the first time in a long time, like to join me for dinner. Arham's eyes widened. Ma'am, whoa, it's too much. It's not, she said quietly. And it's not a CEO asking. It's just. Isla. Mehek tugged Arham's hand. Papa, please pretty please. He hesitated. Then nodded. Isla's face lit up in a way her employees had never seen. Dinner was simple street food from a cart nearby. They stood together at a table, eating warm parathats and chai. No corporate formality. No bodyguards. No power distance. Just three people. Isla laughed more that night than she had in years. Mehek told stories that made them both giggle. Arham kept apologizing for the simplicity of the food, but Isla kept telling him it tasted better than anything in her penthouse. As they walked back, Mehek slipped her small hand into Isla's. Isla froze for a moment, startled. But then, she held it lightly. Like something precious. Arham watched in stunned silence. Something was happening. Something gentle. Something unexpected. Something life-changing. Over the next few weeks, Isla made excuses to visit the janitor's floor. To bring snacks. To talk. To check in. Every conversation peeled away another layer. She learned he used to top his class before tragedy forced him to drop out. She learned he loved poetry. She learned he sang lullabies to Mehek every night. She learned he had dreams he never mentioned, and Arham learned things too. He learned that Isla was lonely. That her success came with a price. That behind her strength was a heart cracking under pressure. That she trusted almost no one. Except, slowly, him. They began sharing smiles. Then conversations. Then quiet moments. No romance rushed. No lines crossed. Just a slow, honest connection. Two worlds, gently reaching for each other. One evening, as Arham cleaned her office, Isla stood by the window, watching him silently. Arham, she said softly. Gee. Do you ever dream of doing something else? He hesitated. Sometimes. What would you do, if you could choose freely? He took a long breath. Maybe, study again. Finish what I couldn't give Mehek a better future. Isla turned toward him with something like determination in her eyes. Then do it, she said firmly. Study. I'll support your schedule. I'll cover the fees. Think of it as gratitude. Ma'am, I can.